Welcome back to my YouTube channel, but if you're new here, my name is Brittany and I'm a Chicago-based lifestyle content creator. And this vlog is something I'm pretty excited for. So today is, I'm gonna call it Record Store Day Eve. And if you've been watching basically any of my videos since the beginning of this year, you've heard me talk about how I've become a recent record collector. I got a record player for Christmas. And basically since then, so like the last week of December, I have been collecting vinyl records. And I mean, my collection's grown pretty quickly, mostly just because I have a shopping addiction. So I buy records. I feel like instead of buying other stuff, I've just been buying records now. And I feel like I've got a good mix of like new things, old things, like classics. And I've really just been trying to build my collection. So I'm excited for Record Store Day tomorrow. And if you don't know what Record Store Day is, it's basically like, let me actually look up the definition of it so that I don't ruin it, because I was just gonna say it's basically like Black Friday for indie record stores, which honestly might be a pretty good sum of it. Okay, I feel like I actually summed it up pretty well. So the technical definition, or the actual definition according to Wikipedia, is an annual event inaugurated in 2007 to celebrate the culture of independently owned record stores. So it happens every year in basically around this time of year in the spring, in April. And then I think there's a Black Friday, like actual Black Friday, like one in November, that's been started a few years ago. This is my very first time participating in Record Store Day. And it's cool because it's literally like, I also love the thrill. I miss the old school Black Friday when you would go wait out in lines outside of stores. You would like flip through, I'm not aging myself, but you'd flip through like the flyers, like, ooh, what is gonna be at Target? What's gonna be at Best Buy? Let me go camp out. Like, what's worth it? Am I gonna get what I want? I eat that stuff up. So this has my name written all over it. So I am excited for tomorrow. Anyway, I'm setting this vlog up the day before because it starts really like, I feel like I'm gonna have an early start. I'm planning to get to my local record store, Rattleback Records in Andersonville, at about 7. They open at 9. And when I was in the store a couple weeks ago, I asked like the staff, I was like, hey, when do people start coming in or whatever, to like, when do people start lining up, like getting ready, or like when do people start arriving basically? And the girl that I talked to was like, well, people start showing up at 5 a.m. But then she kept it real with me. She was like, but you don't need to be here that early. So like if you want to get here at 7, like that is like the perfectly fine time. So I'm gonna try to arrive at 7. I have a couple titles on my list. I mean, when I was going through the list, because it's basically like these specific, like, I don't know, it feels like thousands, like a couple thousand different records are released for a record store day, and they're only available in store only at these specific indie record stores. And you like have to, it's like first come first serve. You can't pre-order anything, you can't have anything held for you. And so like going through, the list was released maybe a month ago and I started scrolling through it. I mean, I had probably like 10 or 15 things I originally wanted, but that's way too many, and I've whittled it down now to a top 3. So what's on my like top 3, so also a lot of things that are on the list are things that have maybe like never been pressed before, or they're represses of records that like have basically were pressed one time and like never again, or like it's the first time it's ever been pressed, or like a new, like there's some live albums and stuff like that. So what I have on my list is Fetty Wap, self-titled. I love that album. It almost feels nostalgic. I mean, it came out in 2016, so that's 8 years ago, not that long ago, but that is a really great album. It has a lot of good singles on it. It's only been pressed once before, and it's like $300 or something if you like, everywhere that I was looking for it, because I was like, oh, is this worth getting for Record Store Day? And when I was looking it up, yeah, it definitely is. And it's a Record Store Day exclusive, so it's only going to be available on this day. It won't be like, some of these are like first releases on Record Store Day and then probably be repressed again and like re-released again soon, but Fetty Wap is not going to, so, or not going to be. So that's $37. And luckily, like my record store also listed out like what they have, how much, and like how much each of them costs. Like that one will be $37. There's only 4,500 copies of it that are released nationally, so I don't know how many my store is getting. They could just be getting 1, they could be getting 5 or 10 or whatever, so I'll find out tomorrow. Then I also have Little Richard Right Now. That one's only $25. It's a 1 LP, and or it's just 1 LP, and there were 1,200 copies of it available. And so that it's only been only been pressed once, like originally in the 1970 whatever, when it first came out. And like this one isn't a Record Store Day exclusive, it's a first, but the version of it that they're releasing tomorrow is, I can't remember what color it is. Oh, it's on Sunflare colored vinyl, and I think it has some like something printed inside of it too. some like print, some inserts or something, I want to say. But yeah, it hasn't been re-released since 1973, or hasn't been released at all since then. So that's cool. So I'm excited for that. And then the other thing I have on my list is Rosetta Tharpe live in France, or Sister Rosetta Tharpe, I should say, live in France. So it's like a live album from a performance that she did in France in 1966. And I mean, she's like a really cool musical pioneer that I feel like doesn't ever get a lot of credit, but like Elvis, like a lot of those people, Little Richard even, would have never existed without Rosetta Tharpe. Like she's considered like the queen or godmother of rock and roll, I guess you could say. And so I'm excited to have this. This has never been on vinyl before. Oh, it's actually an unreleased live solo recording, which is cool. From a performance in November 11th, 1966. So, oh, and this, yeah, this is cool. So this is not an exclusive either, but it's a first, but this edition sounds really cool. So this has a bunch of like rare photographs with like other like older artists, some liner notes, like some biography type things. And then I want to say, is this on colored vinyl too? Maybe not, but I think that sounds really cool. And then my sister just got a record player. I've influenced her as well. And so she wants Young Thug. I think this is his debut album, Jeffrey. And this is like, I don't know if it's ever been available on vinyl, but I know it's really hard to find. And this is a Record Store Day exclusive. So there are there are 1,800 copies of that Rosetta Tharpe album, like nationwide. And then there's 6,000 of this Young Thug album. And then I have some others on like my maybes, like, and I kind of have them listed here. I have like a really, I feel like detailed list. Like this is like very me. Like I have it split up in sections. I don't know if you can see it, but I have like my top and then my maybes, and then I even have the ones that I originally wanted and scratched out just so I don't get caught up in the movie in the vibe and try to buy them anyway. But then I have like, if one of those other ones aren't available, I kind of have like a prioritized list of like what I want next. So some of the stuff that's on there is like a single or a 7-inch, I think it's a 7-inch single from Queen of Cool Cat, Studio One Rude Boy, which that actually sounds really cool. But that's an exclusive as well. De La Soul live album from a performance at Tramps in like 1993, I think, which I do like De La Soul. Welcome to College, Welcome to College Grove. It's like that collab album between 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne. That album is pretty good, but that's not an exclusive, so I feel like I could always get that later. Slum Village, their album Detroit Deli, which I like a couple of songs. I mean, and that's from early 2000s, I want to say. I like a couple of songs on that album, but I don't love the whole album, so that's why I'm kind of like, it would be cool to have, because I don't know if it's ever been released on vinyl, but I don't need it. Noah Kahan and Olivia Rodrigo, they have like, it's a single. They're basically singing each other's like a single from each other, which is kind of cool. And then the Ready to Die instrumentals, like Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die instrumentals, which would be kind of cool to have, but it's not a need. And then I also have the prices and everything listed for those. So I feel prepared for what I'm about to walk into tomorrow, I think. I'm excited, like I said. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow bright and early. It's 6:40 a.m. the next day. First of all, I want to say, who knew it was this light out at this hour? I'm really never up this early, so I thought it was so dark at this time. And it's a little chillier out than I thought it would be, like in comparison to, but it's been pretty nice this week. So maybe that'll keep some people at bay. Like I think it's about not even 40 degrees right now. But I'm on my way to Rattleback Records. I'm about to get on the bus. I think it's coming in like less than 5 minutes. And I'm gonna stop by Collectivo Coffee to grab a coffee. It's like a half block away from the record store, or if not on the same block. I guess that is a half block, is not a full block away, so that I can like enjoy that while I wait in line. I also have been listening to an audiobook. Like, I mean, I started a while ago. It's for a book club that I'm in, so I might listen to that while I'm waiting in line because I'm a little behind and we're meeting next week. I also think I might have added one more record to my list. I'm gonna listen to it. Okay, how am I gonna listen to all these things? But I started listening to it last night. I'm gonna listen to it a bit more this morning to decide if I want to add it in. But like, I knew this was gonna happen. This is very much my attitude. Like, why not throw it in the basket? So, like I said, waiting on the bus, and we'll see how the rest of the morning goes. get through all of that. I'm back home. I mean, so I think by the time I got home, it was like 10:45 a.m. So, I mean, I left at what did I say, 6:40? So I guess that was like a 4-hour long excursion altogether, which that sounds kind of crazy now that I'm thinking out loud. But it was fun. I mean, it was colder than I thought it would be, but I guess also it's like only April, right? Yeah, it's still April. And like, it was so much colder than it's been, I feel like, all week and for the past few weeks. Like, I think it's maybe 40 degrees and it wasn't super sunny. Like, where I happened to be standing when I first got in line was in the sun, but as the line started moving, it was literally, like the sun was on the opposite side of the street. So it just felt a little cool and brisk. Like, I wish I would have had gloves because like being in like that weather is fine, but like standing still for a while, I feel like you feel so much colder. Everyone was like really nice. I feel like in line, everyone was like excited to be there. So what they did at like for my record store is, so when I got there, it was like 7:15 by the time I like got in line. Because yeah, I got on the bus, stopped in the Collectivo. Of course, I had to wait in line there. And I mean, the Collectivo is like at the end of the block, and the line was already down the block and like halfway down the other half of the block. So like basically, when I walked out of the Collectivo, I was pretty much at the end of the line. And I got in line at like 7:15, like I said, and I was like, this is crazy, like how many people are here on like this random Saturday in April in Andersonville at 7 a.m. And apparently the guy in front of me, he said that he'd asked like the girl that was at the very front of the line what time she got there, and she was there at 3 a.m. So like there's no way, in no world was that ever gonna happen for me. There were a few things I really wanted, or that I wanted, that I wasn't able to get, just like always sad. But so I wanted Fetty Wap, like I said, and they were out of that, which I'm not surprised by because that was like a very hot commodity and it's a pretty rare like record. I didn't get that. And then my sister wanted Young Thug Jeffrey. Also, they didn't have that, which again, I'm not surprised by because like Young Thug is very, like, people love Young Thug and he's a really cool artist. And that was also another really hot commodity. Also probably because he's on trial right now. And I think I said yesterday that was maybe his first album, and actually was his fourth mixtape. So like obviously I had no idea what I was talking about. And then I had added to my list, I didn't have this on my list when I was talking about it last night or yesterday, but I was like, oh, okay, I feel like I need this. It's the Leve Live at Symphony, or what is the name of the album? Is it just Live at the Symphony or Live with the Symphony, whatever it's called? So I added that to my list. It sounds really cool. I'm excited to see her at Lollapalooza, and she'll be with the Chicago Symphony. I think this album is from a performance with the Icelandic Symphony. And her voice is just cool. Her music's really cool. So they didn't have that either, which I was like, okay, I didn't need that. Like, I'm fine with, my life will go on without that. But the Young Thug and Fetty Wap, okay, Ramia is obviously trying to get my attention. But for Young Thug and Fetty Wap, they had like, I put my name on like a running list that they have to where they're like, if we get these, we'll like reach out to you and let you know. And this, like I said, this is my local record store that I go to all the time. I'm in the like record club subscription that they have. And I feel like they're really good about finding stuff, and just like I love that record store. So we'll see if either of those turn up. I have more faith that the Fetty Wap will turn up than Young Thug, but also that's not for me, it's for my sister. So I'm trying to remember what time everything happened. So I got there like 7:15, and then by the time I got into the store, it was maybe just before 10 or around 10. And then there was like another line once you got in the store where they gave us these forms to fill out while we were standing in line. We filled it out, and then you gave it like to the I was actually the owner of the shop, Paul, and there was basically like a little assembly line, and they were pulling the records that you had on your list. And then when I realized there were a couple that I had originally marked that weren't available, I gave them like I think one or two other titles. And then from that line, once you left that line, you got in another line that like wrapped through the store to check out, which then I'm like, well, now I'm in the store, I'm looking through all these bins of stuff too, of like things I maybe want to pick up. The vibe was very cool on the inside. So I mean, there wasn't anything like special going on, but it was just like, it was a fun vibe. I mean, American Requiem was playing like right as I walked through the door. So I was like, okay, if Cowboy Carter's playing, maybe that means I'll get everything that I really want on my list. I mean, that wasn't necessarily the case, but, and then they were giving away, like at the register when you were checking out, posters that were I think they were by like a local Chicago artist. And then these also really cute Rattleback Records tote bags. Literally the man in front of me was the last person to get one. Like the guy was like, oh, do you want a poster or a tote bag? I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a tote bag. I went to like go grab it. I was like, sorry, we actually literally just ran out. And I mean, truthfully, I don't need another tote bag. So I was like, it's completely fine. I'm totally fine with it. But it was really cute. Anyway, what I ended up walking away with I feel good about this haul. I spent under $200 altogether, and that's fine. And like I was really trying to keep myself on a pretty strict budget, and I thought I'd maybe spend around $125, $150, but it's just money at the end of the day, so whatever. Okay, so what I got was I did get that Little Richard Right Now album, so I'm excited about this. I think this will be really cool. So it has like Chain of Fools. Oh yeah, and it's like fully remastered. I think this will be really cool. I'm excited to listen to this. And then, oh, this is something I don't think I talked about yesterday, but I like, as I kept looking through the list again today or last night, I listened to and had this on like my maybes. So this is Parliament's album. I think this is their first, oh yeah, this is their debut album. So Parliament's album, Osmium, I don't know how, I think that's how you would pronounce it. So this is like George Clinton and like his like that like funkadelic band. Oh yeah, they're like considered a funk band. So this was their debut album, and I don't know. Oh yeah, this is actually, oh no, this isn't the first time it's on vinyl, but it has 5 bonus tracks that are on vinyl for the first time, and it's pressed on green vinyl, and it's just like cool. It's a really cool sound. I mean, George Clinton is cool, so I'm excited to listen to this as well. And then I did get that Sister Rosetta Tharpe Live in France album, and I mean, this was the most expensive one. It was $50 or $49.99, but I feel like this is very much worth it, because I mean, this isn't available literally anywhere else, like these tracks all together, and she's just like such a pioneer, like I said yesterday. And then it has a bunch of like liner notes, like just some really cool like historical nods too. And then another thing that I don't think I talked about yesterday, or maybe I did mention it, is Studio One Rude Boy. And I have another Studio One album. It's like the Black album, like a Studio One mix of the Black album, which is actually really cool. And I think this will be, I'm really excited to listen to this too. So I mean, it's like some old like 60s, 70s reggae. So like I think there's even some Bob Marley and the Wailers on here too. Oh yeah, the Wailers. Oh yeah, there's just one song from the Wailers. Or no, there's 2 songs from the Wailers, I think. Okay, I feel like I can't read this because it's like gold and then white writing. So this is printed on gold vinyl, I think too. Is it? Special color vinyl. So yeah, this is limited edition. And I think this was an exclusive, a Record Store Day exclusive. This has never been pressed before. And maybe, I guess, never again. So, and it was like remastered and everything, because obviously it was originally, a lot of these were originally recorded like 60 years or so ago. I'm very excited for this. And then one thing that was not a part of Record Store Day, but I picked up as I was in line, is Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. And this is a used copy. It was $19.99 on clear vinyl. I think this is the Target exclusive, because I was just looking at this in Target the other day. I mean, this is cheaper than what was less expensive than buying it at Target, but the Target version did have the clear vinyl, which is what this, yeah, this is the clear vinyl. I love this album. This is my favorite Ariana Grande album. I don't love her new album. Like, it's not bad, but I like Thank You Next a lot better. And I'm trying to like buy more used records than new, especially like a lot of new records are just expensive. And like I like Ariana Grande, but I'm not like a stan. So I'd rather get it at a discount. It's a little more sustainable, all of that. Anyway, that's everything that I got. I'm excited. That was like a fun little journey. Like I said, I love a sale moment like that. So it was a fun thing to be a part of. I'm excited, I guess, maybe to do it again in the fall or next year. If you went out for Record Store Day this year, let me know what you got, because I feel like there's so many things I missed just because the like list was so big. Like even in line, some guy was like, "Oh, did you see this?" I feel like because I had that Studio One Rude Boy on top, he was like, "Oh, if you liked that, I feel like you would have liked this." And I'm like, something else I should have added to the list, but whatever. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I'll see you on the next one.